Guys, welcome back to Grown Folk Talk. So, if you missed the first part, you have to stay tuned. I am talking to Carola and Stephen Liu. We are talking the beauty of marriage. And they've been very transparent in sharing their story so far about how they were headed for divorce after being married 7 years, somebody realized it's not what I want, and living in the same house, not speaking to each other, sleeping in the same bed, sitting at dinner together, going to church together, but really totally disconnected. Mm-hmm. So when we went to break, I said you're going to share some truths. And so I actually have them because you shared them with me already. Mm-hmm. So you said couples with great marriages know one simple truth so far, that the best marriages are made up of everyday decisions that say, I love you, rather than those that say, I love me. And when we put the other person first, even in little ways, we find true fulfillment. Talk to us about that. What does that even mean?
That simply means putting on your big boy pants, your big girl pants, and thinking about somebody else.
Yes,
before
for change.
You think of yourself.
Right. So is that what happened?
Exactly.
Is that what happened with you guys?
Say it. Yeah. In our situation, I wasn't thinking of me.
By saying
and
I'm
my
getting
feelings.
out. And all the stuff before that.
All the stuff before.
My needs are not being met.
Yeah.
Right.
And in my mind, I actually hated being married. I couldn't see being married another day. To really? Carola. Mm-hmm. Yeah, up here, I was out. I was already going, basically.
He was looking for an exit.
Yes, he had his plan.
Exactly. And
I really did, yeah.
Right.
And she didn't have a clue because I never talked to her. So all selfish was me.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I did have a clue. I did. I could see him, as I said earlier,
slowly
pulling away, and coming from a place in my life where I wasn't married. I had 2 children. We now had 3. So I began to think, okay, now what do I have to do? I was going into survival mode. I was thinking ahead
interesting.
To see, how am I going to do this? How am I going to make sure if he leaves? When he leaves.
Oh, when he leaves. You knew he was gone.
He was gone.
Physically
he had checked
and everything.
Out a while ago.
Right. He had checked out emotionally, mentally, and in some ways physically.
Oh, absolutely.
But look at the elephant in the room. We had never discussed it. We had never. I had never told her why I felt that way. Right. We had never really talked about fixing it.
Right. So I'm going to ask a really personal question.
Sure.
You said you were sleeping in the same bed. Were you still having sex?
No.
No, I don't think
really?
so.
No.
Because as crazy as that might sound, it happens sometimes. Sometimes there are people they may be sleeping in separate bedrooms, and then on the odd occasion they have sex because that's what they do.
Sex is emotional for women.
Okay. Yes, indeed.
Yes, there has to be some sort of feeling that you're desired, that you're loved. There has to be, at least for me, there had to be a safe space.
Yes.
Well, that safety had long been gone.
Yeah.
And I've said this on the radio that I am a victim or was a victim of child molestation.
Right.
So, that brought its own set of baggage with it.
Right, yeah.
So, no, there was no sex at all.
And for us, we had moved from intimacy in terms of our marriage to conflict. And then we were actually in the final stage, which was what we call withdrawal.
Okay.
So the walls
you had gone through all the stages of what you knew was the breakdown.
Yes.
And we were just numb and didn't want to feel the emotional hurt of trying
by
to figure
staying
it out.
Or by figuring it out, because figuring it out would have brought the truth, and the truth may have been too hard to tolerate, especially for you, Stephen, by saying you had your own lot of baggage and you didn't want to be vulnerable.
But all I saw was my truth. So in terms of the communication, it would have been totally ineffective because all I saw was my hurt.
Right.
And in my mind, I knew what she was trying to do to me.
You.
So again, I'm loving me the whole time today.
And forget her.
And it's not because I'm a really horrible person or anything like that. I was reading to my feelings and all that baggage I talked about bringing to the relationship.
You had convinced yourself of what you did and did not deserve.
Exactly.
And so why would she want you, a decent, kind, fill in all the blanks woman?
Yeah.
And so over a number of years, you talked yourself out of
That's exactly what happened.
this marriage.
Yeah. And because we didn't have good communication skills,
I
was never able to effectively communicate to her what was going on in my mind.
Okay.
Exactly.
So then you go through all of that. Why? So how are you still married today? Let's get into that. What happened? What happened with the whole not speaking? I don't like him. I don't like her. What happened? Because people want to know what happened.
I think actually it began with me. When we decided to get married, we had said one of the things that we would never even discuss. We would not even say the word divorce. But yet we found ourselves steering it. Still having not said it, but staring it in the face.
Right.
And I remember I was standing at my kitchen sink one afternoon, actually, doing the dishes, and I started to really think about, push past all of the hurt, push past all of the things that were going on within the household, and I started to think about what we had said, what our marriage was based on, our vows. Right. We're people of faith. You know, God is very much a part of our relationship. And
was then.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Every
big
Sunday.
church goers, putting on the front. I said holding hands, but maybe not holding hands.
No.
But you were smiling.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Brother and sister Lou.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But for me, that afternoon, the rubber hit the road.
Really?
Either I was a woman of faith and I was going to walk down that road, or I was going to dust my hands of it and just move on. I decided that I wanted my marriage that afternoon.
Did you want your marriage or did you want him?
I wanted him.
Okay.
Really? He was the man.
No, I'm just listen.
No,
I'm just
exactly,
saying, because sometimes we want to keep a marriage for the sake of saying we're still married.
Yeah.
Okay, good point.
Right?
Yeah,
that's where I was going with that.
Wow.
Would it have been okay? Even if we can't be married or whatever, I still want him. So so it sounds like. She chose both.
Yes, but I wanted him.
Right. It wasn't just about let me just be married.
I'm so glad I didn't think about that at the time.
Yes.
That would have made it worse.
That would have been it. Right. Because there was nothing happening.
Yeah.
Not at
there
all.
was nothing. There was nothing.
So you decided you wanted him, you wanted your marriage.
Yes.
And that was the start. That was the the genesis of us turning it around, or having it turned around, because all of a sudden she started treating me like her husband.
And was that, so we're going, I think we will go to break.
Right.
Because I really want to know, why did she start treating you like her husband? Did you want her to treat you like that?
That's a great
we'll
story.
talk about all of that.
Yes.
This is the beauty of marriage.
It's the beauty of
unraveling.
marriage.
Absolutely.
Unraveling, because it got ugly.
It did.
Okay.
It did. Quietly ugly.
Quietly ugly, slowly ugly, nobody talking, nobody even knew why it got ugly. You just looked one day and it was ugly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're going to continue this conversation. So we have to take a break, and please stay with us because it gets better. And if you are wondering how your marriage, which may not be so attractive right now, if it can get better, the Lurs will be the ones to help you. So come back and join us for some more Grown Folk Talk with our guests, Stephen and Carola Lou. We'll be right back.
Grown Folk Talk will be back after these messages.